21-year-old nursing student crashes her car on a quiet New Hampshire road. A neighbor saw what happened. 10 minutes later, the police arrived, but she's gone. Maura Murray is gone. There's no footprints, no confirmed sightings, and nearly 2 decades later, investigators don't know what happened to her. Tonight, we're going to break down the timeline of Maura Murray's disappearance and 3 biggest theories about what may have happened that night. Maura Murray was a 21-year-old college student attending UMass Amherst campus. It was 2004. Friend described her as athletic and intelligent. She ran track in high school and was studying nursing in college. But in the days leading up to her disappearance, there were several unusual events that began. February 5th, 2004, Maura Murray was working on campus as a dorm security. And when she was working her shift, she got a strange phone call that night, and she began getting upset and crying, and her supervisor even asked her what happened. Her response was, "My sister." Now, we'll find out later that there was nothing wrong with the sister. Nothing happened to the sister. So we don't know the details of that phone call and who that really was. It wasn't her sister, and nothing happened to her sister. So she got a strange phone call, and 2 days later after that, it was 3:30 in the morning, and she crashed her dad's vehicle into a guardrail in Hadley, Massachusetts. So the crash wasn't reported to police. Her dad had just planned to find her a vehicle the next day. Now on February 9th, Maura emailed her professor saying that she was going to be gone for the week because there was a death in her family. We're going to find out that there was also no death in her family. So we don't know what's really going on with her and what her plan was, but we do know that on that same day, she withdrew $280 from an ATM, and then she went to a liquor store and bought some liquor and wine. She then got in her car with a bag that she packed because there was items missing from her dorm room that included a backpack, her wallet, some clothes, and she began driving. Now we know that she made it 3 hours away because that's where the crash happened. All of a sudden, 7:27 p.m. that night, February 9th, Maura crashed her car again. This time she was on Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire. This is a quiet road. There's neighbors, but they're spread apart, so there's not a whole lot going on that road. And a local school bus driver right near where she crashed was heading home from work. He lived there. So he pulled over to ask her for help, and she was like, "No, I'm good. I called AAA already." And he's like, "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. I don't need help." So even though he felt uneasy about it, he went home, which was only like 100 yards from where this crash happened. When he got home, he called the police anyways, and officers arrived just 10 minutes later. When he saw the lights out his window that the officers had arrived, he went out to meet them, and the officers said that the car is locked and no one is here. He's like, "I swear I just talked to a young girl less than 10 minutes ago when this happened." And because he's right there 100 yards away, he sees what's going on in the road and everything. He's like, there was no cars that came by. He didn't see anything. So there was no footprints like that she had walked away. She was just gone. Police just assumed that, she got picked up or got a ride with somebody and just left. They didn't really handle it like this was a missing person. They handled it like it's a 21-year-old girl that crashed her car. She must have just got a ride. She's not here anymore. Strangely enough, though, the car was locked and personal items were still inside, but that backpack, her wallet, and keys were gone. There was a AAA card on the seat, but we don't have any confirmation that AAA was actually called. Now, the 3 biggest theories is that, number 1, she ran into the woods and she died. This is the most common theory. Like, possibly she hit her head or she was disoriented and she walked away from the scene. But in that case, don't you think we would have found her remains by now? So I don't know how I really feel about that one. Another theory is that someone picked her up. So there were police dogs that were sent the next day. When her father found out about this and contacted the police and headed up there, he's like, there's no way that, my daughter just walked away. Something happened, and this is a missing person. So the police got their scent dogs, and scent dogs are pretty good at finding and locating a direction or where somebody went to, and the scent dogs couldn't even pick up any scent much further from where her car was. So it just stopped, as if she just disappeared right there. Now that doesn't happen, so someone could have picked her up. In that case, the scent dogs would be correct. Her scent would have just disappeared. But the neighbor, the school bus driver, he doesn't have any memory of anyone driving by or anything like that that would have picked her up. He didn't see anyone or any cars, so that's also pretty strange. And a really small window of time, too. Now, the third theory is that she was planning to intentionally disappear. The strange email that there was a death in the family, kind of like already preparing people that she's not going to be around. But in that case, I think she would have packed up maybe more things and maybe withdrew more money. But it does show that people think that she possibly just left. Now, just some other things about Maura that I found out during research was that she did love the mountains. She was a mountain girl at heart. She liked to go to the mountains just to get away from everything when she just felt like things were too stressful. So her going off into a mountain area wouldn't necessarily be a strange activity of hers. It is strange that she didn't really tell anyone, or no one knew about any plans about her doing this, but there was a MapQuest printout on her seat that she was headed somewhere, possibly in Vermont, and that she had looked up some lodging sites, but nothing was actually booked yet, but it does show that she possibly was headed there. It's just really odd. I don't know how someone just would disappear and without any trace. I think that the time frame from when she crashed her car to the police just kind of showing up and no one being there and no missing person activity starting right away really put a damper on things with the way the weather was and that remote area for that night, because when they did begin their searching the next day, the roads were already plowed, so it's going to be hard to find tire tracks, and snow had fallen that night. The temperatures got really low, so a lot of things that maybe could have been clues that night, they weren't there anymore the next day. But that window of time is what's just super strange, from school bus driver seeing her, going to his house, still kind of feel uneasy. And any theory about him too is kind of lost on me anyways personally, because if he did anything to her, he wouldn't have gone to his house and phoned the police, in my opinion. But that's what he did. He stopped. She said she didn't need help. He felt uneasy about it, so he still called the authorities and they showed up. But that gentleman, he passed away like 2 years after she disappeared, so there's not even him to go back to and jar his memory or on anything that was going on there too. So more than 20 years later, this case still remains one of the most debated missing persons case in the United States. Investigators still don't know that she disappeared by choice, became lost in the woods, or encountered someone that night who changed the course of her life forever. The one question still remains: what really happened in that 10 minutes between the crash and when the police arrived? Where is Maura Murray? Thanks for watching. As always, if you're interested in true crime and justice, we upload a new episode every week, so subscribe so that you'll get a notification when we upload our next one. And let me know in the comments, what do you think? What is your theory on her disappearance? And have you heard anything else? Take care.